The thing that has changed my life and helped me to experience God and grow deeper in my faith more than anything else, hands down, is the practice of spending time with God. Now, I know that might sound kind of weird if you're new to this, or maybe you grew up in a more traditional church and you're like, what does it mean to spend time with God? I don't want to spend time with God. He'll probably strike me down or something like that. I'm telling you, this is the key to so much. There have been times where it didn't matter what was happening in my life. I sat down and I spent time with God, and He revealed something to me. He imparted to me just this peace. He let me lay my burdens down before Him. He changed my life just because I spent a little bit of time with Him. So today I want to teach you how to spend time with God. It's not maybe as weird or kooky as it might sound. It's actually a really simple process. So what you want to do is you want to treat your relationship with God kind of like you would treat any other relationship with anybody. So my relationship with my wife, if I want to have a better relationship with her, what do? I spend time with her. What does that mean? It means three things. Number one, I make sure it's just me and her. I go out for a walk with her. I sit on the couch and make sure my phone's off, or I take her out on a date. I make sure it's just the two of us. Step two, I acknowledge her presence, right? Like if I'm on a date with her, I'm sitting there on the couch, but I'm like doing something else or my mind's somewhere else and I'm not even acknowledging her presence, then I might as well not even be there. Number three, I have a conversation. She talks, I talk. That's the way any relationships work, and spending time with God, that's the way this works too. So here's what you do. Number one, you make sure it's just the two of you. Like maybe it's time to shut your phone off and close your office door or close your bedroom door or whatever, and just make sure it's just the two of you. It says actually in Mark chapter 135 that Jesus pushed away from the crowds and spent time with God. It says he got up very early in the morning to go and pray. You've got to do that. You've got to create this space where it's just you and God. Number two, you acknowledge His presence. The disciples came to Jesus and said, hey, how should we pray? The very first words out of Jesus' mouth were, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Right? So the first thing you do is you acknowledge God's in the room, He's here. The only difference between my relationship with my wife and God is that I can't see Him, but that doesn't mean that He's not there, right? So acknowledge His presence and expect Him to kind of show up. Number three, and this is really important, have a conversation with God. Now, this is a little awkward again because you're looking over there and there's nobody there, but this is how you do this. You pray. You take your burdens and you lay them down at His feet. And it says in 1 Peter chapter 5, it says, cast your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Take every burden you have. Take the sin in your life and confess it. Take the stress that you're feeling and lay it at His feet. That's how you talk to God. But then listen, this is important. Now you're ready. You're finally ready to hear from God. You're in a good spot now. And so with Him in the room, acknowledging His presence, just the two of you, you've laid your burdens at His feet. Now let God speak. And here's what that looks like. You open up the Bible. I wouldn't play Russian roulette or Bible roulette where I just throw open my Bible and start reading a passage. What I would do is I would start in a place and I would read through it consistently every day. So open up James chapter 1. If you're new to this or maybe just need to get back into it, James is the place to go. Read James chapter 1 and let God speak. Tomorrow, get up, rinse and repeat. Do everything the same. Just make sure it's just the two of you. Acknowledge His presence in the room. Speak to Him, and then open up the Word and let Him speak to you with James chapter 2. If you do this every single day, or you make it your effort, if you make this a regular discipline in your life, man, God's going to do huge stuff in your life.